Some talk of him having been airlifted to Russia. There's widespread dispersion of power across Iran.
Mujtaba was generally seen as the most favored candidate by the IRGC, by the Revolutionary Guard. So what you now have is a military dictatorship with a clerical facade making all the decisions.
They are fighting an asymmetric battle. Does this, in a sense, force Israel and the United States to think about an off-ramp?
The Iranian regime has been using asymmetric warfare against Israel for the last 3 decades. We have to make sure that their capability to do so diminishes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bolton, for speaking to us. We've heard of how Iran was planning to assassinate President Donald Trump.
Iran has tried to assassinate Donald Trump. They've tried to assassinate me too because of the successful strike against Qasem Soleimani, then the head of the Quds Force.
The voices that matter speak first and exclusive to NDTV.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice,
The latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decision.
it's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your automate.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An NDTV world exclusive to Aditya Raj Kaul. Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसमे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
BJP double engine সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে.
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
Tamil Nadu elections don't play small. They play big. High stakes, high voltage, high drama. Before the blockbuster unfolds, the OT of election coverage comes to Tamil Nadu to track the elections, spotting the mood and bringing perspectives from every side. Battleground Tamil Nadu on NDTV network.
When others are warming up, I'm raring to go. The stories that matter, the stories that shape your life.
Hello, welcome to watching Prime 5 with me, Raisha Said. What's that today? How to?
The show that sets the prime time agenda.
We'll be deep diving into this topic to tell you what's at stake.
Join me, Raisha Sehgal, on Prime 5, only on NDTV 24/7.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. Welcome to this special broadcast on Breaking Ground. 2 nominations, 2 narratives, 1 big question. MK Stalin, steady, structured and seeking another mandate. Vijay, untested, unpredictable and impossible to ignore. This is no longer a two-way fight but a multi-pronged battle for the state of Tamil Nadu. Joining me live in the studio today is my colleague Vasudha. Vasudha, it's a blockbuster Monday for Tamil Nadu.
That's true, Vedika. In fact, we've had 3 blockbuster days with the candidate list first and then the manifestos, and today is a filing of nominations. Like you rightly pointed out, Kolathur is important. It's seen as a model for Dravidian governance. That's what MK Stalin has said. He's on his way to file nominations. We could have him do that in just about half an hour from now. Vijay, on the other hand, has challenged the DMK in its stronghold, 16 assembly seats of Chennai, and Vijay has not just projected himself as one of the candidates, but also his other leaders are also taking on important DMK leaders. This is a fight for Chennai. This is also a fight for Tamil Nadu 2026.
Let's take our viewers through the headlines and then we'll be back on that top focus today for the next 1 hour here on Breaking Ground. Big nomination day in Tamil Nadu. Stalin set to file nomination from Kolathur. Vijay to file nomination from Perambur shortly.
Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju trains guns on Mamata Banerjee, accuses Mamata Banerjee of voter intimidation. He has alleged that she's threatening people of Bengal to vote for her.
US President Donald Trump plans ground op to extract 400 kg of Iran's uranium, hints at Turk seizure for taking oil. Reports say over 50,000 US troops have arrived in West Asia.
Houthis' entry in Iran war triggers the global oil nightmare once again. After Hormuz, another strait is at the risk of becoming a second major oil bottleneck.
The war has entered its second month now. Israel prepares for multi-front war. Netanyahu says visible cracks in Iranian regime.
NDTV reports from Israeli town of Dimona reports on people who are living in the shadow of a nuclear facility in the area and the challenges involved.
Like we pointed out right at the top, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin and TVK Chief Vijay both are going to file their nomination shortly. MK Stalin is set to file the nomination from Kolathur seat, his stronghold, the seat where he's been winning since the year 2011 for the past 15 years. And TVK Chief Vasudha, Vijay is going to file his nomination from the Perambur seat.
That's right, Vedika. In fact, Kolathur is one of those seats which was carved out from 2 other constituencies of Pursavakam and Vilivakam. And Mr. Stalin's winning margins have only been widening since 2011. Unlike his father, MK Stalin has also faced electoral losses in the past. For him to win this seat and continue winning the seat is extremely important personally, politically, symbolically, because he has called Kolathur a symbol of Dravidian model of governance. On the other hand, Perambur is a northern Chennai seat, and it's extremely important because it has a lot of railway colonies, minority votes, lower middle class population, and that's exactly the kind of population that Vijay is hoping to represent. So it's a fight for Chennai, 16 assembly seats here, and these 2 symbolic seats will also in some ways set the tone for the fight for Chennai.
All right, let's listen to some reactions coming in.
எல்லாரும் சொல்ற மாதிரி தேர்தல்லாம் கிடையாது. இது இருமுனை போட்டி மட்டும்தான். மக்கள் கூட்டணியான நமக்கும் ஸ்டாலின் சார் கூட்டணிக்கும் மட்டும்தான் தேர்தல்.
See, I think people have confidence in the DMK manifesto and they look forward to the DMK manifesto because we always deliver. And the Chief Minister in the last 5 years, he has delivered what we promised and he's delivered much more than what we promised. So they're very confident that whatever we promise, unlike other manifestos, we will deliver.
திருச்சி மாவட்டம் என்பது திராவிட முன்னேற்றத்தோட கோட்டையாக நான் நிறுத்தி காட்டுவேன்.
2 தொகுதியில் நிற்கிறேன், அது எதை காட்டுது சார்?
இல்லை, இது அவங்க இஷ்டங்க. இன்றைக்கி தேர்தல் கமிஷன் யாரை என்ன அனுமதி அளிக்கிறதோ அந்த விதியின்படி யார் வேணாலும் எத்தனை இடத்துல வேணாலும் நிற்கலாம். அதை பற்றி எங்களுக்கு கவலை இல்லை. எங்களை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் திருச்சி மாவட்டங்கிறது வந்து திராவிட முன்னேற்றத்தோட கோட்டை என்பதை நிரூபித்து காட்டக்கூடிய ஒரு நல்ல வாய்ப்பாக இதை நான் பார்க்கிறேன்.
They are only fighting on the medias, nothing more. But at the same time, contesting in 2 assembly constituencies clearly shows that the confidence level of
போல மக்கள் வந்து மிகப்பெரிய அதிருப்தியில் இருக்காங்க. ஒரு 5 வருஷமா அதிகாரத்துல முதலமைச்சரா இருந்து எம்எல்ஏ இருந்து சட்டமன்ற அலுவலகம் கூட இல்லாம அந்த சட்டமன்ற உறுப்பினர் 5 வருஷமா எந்த தெருக்கும் வரல, எந்த பிரச்சனைக்கும் வராத போது புதுசா வந்து திருப்பி திமுக காரங்க செய்வாங்கன்னு மக்கள் எந்த இடத்துல நம்புவாங்க? அத வந்து ஏதோ பணபலத்தை வச்சுக்கிட்டு
the DMK and they've not delivered anything. This time they want a new option. Vijay Gopal joins us and he's tracking the Perambur filing of nomination by Vijay. We're also joined by Veera Raghav, my colleague. He joins us from Kerala, and we will also be joined by a panel of experts now. Vijay Gopal, to you first. Vijay is known to really delay his rallies, his entry. What is going to happen today? Because that has put him into a lot of trouble in the past. Can we expect him to, at least arrive at the venue in about 30 minutes from now?
Vasta, that's right, but this time TVK team, the team of Vijay is very cautious in terms of maintaining time, even though he started from his home to file nomination shortly by 11 a.m. Very shortly, as we speak, very shortly is expected to reach here. He is almost only 3 to 4 kilometers away from this specific nomination center. From here only, the vehicle of TVK Chief Vijay will stop, and from here he will walk towards to the nomination center. The exactly inside that only the nomination center is situated. The returning office is situated, and from where TVK Chief Vijay will file his nomination to fight from Perambur constituency, and after completing nomination from here is expected to visit Perambur election office of Tamilaga Vettri Kazhagam for the first time. From where he is going to hold a discussion with the local functionaries regarding election strategy and campaign strategy, and also after that by 2 p.m. Vijay is expected to start his campaign from same Perambur constituency, and he is also very importantly to cover Kolathur constituency campaigning also, which is Tamil Nadu Chief Minister MK Stalin's campaign, and also he is to campaign in Villivakkam, which is TVK General Secretary Adav Arjuna's constituency. So starting from 2 p.m. till 7 p.m. Vijay is scheduled to do campaign across Chennai, covering 3 constituencies today, and also yesterday itself TVK had gave a request to people, general public, requesting them, pregnant women and children were not requested to be part of this campaign, and we spoke with TVK leaders, TVK local functionaries who are all taking care of these arrangements. They are saying for sure Vijay will strictly follow all norms and timings also, but as we need to speak about this Perambur constituencies. Perambur constituency is known for DMK vote, especially 2 to 3 times left parties had won this constituency, so this is going to be very hot fight for Perambur. But outside the returning officer office, many fan supporters are also gathered here. This is going to be very interesting fight, as NDA also given the seat to Patali Makkal Katchi, which is allied there, to announce candidate for this. This is definitely going to be a 3-corner fight. Vijay is very shortly to expect here to file his nomination.
All right, so Vijay very shortly to be there and file his nomination. We are also going to get the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister filing his nomination, like Vasudha said, in about 25 minutes from now. Joining us live, Veera, who's already smiling away. Good afternoon, Veera. Welcome to Breaking Ground. Today is a blockbuster Monday, like we said, for Tamil Nadu. You have the incumbent, Stalin, and you have Vijay, who some call the challenger, some call the dark horse. If not, then the disruptor.
Well, Vedika, we are sitting in an AC studio. Poor Vijay Gopal is sweating it out in the sultry sun. As it is, it's humid and sultry. Trust me, 2 to 7 is going to be a terrifying time for television journalists. It's also the rush to try and get a tic-tac, which is not happening with Vijay. So it's going to be a tough time, 2 to 7, not just for journalists, but also the public there, because it's going to be high profile, the kind of crowds that's going to be there. But I think on the serious note, as Vasudha and you were pointing out, just the sheer fact that Vijay is filing his nominations at the same time as MK Stalin in neighboring constituencies reflects the battle, at least in my mind, on the battle for Chennai.
Yes.
Just a bit of perspective, Chennai, as Vasudha was pointing out, 16 seats won by the DMK in 2021, but it's been a historic DMK stronghold. It's where the DMK organization structure, the core of the party machinery is so strong, and it survived even the likes of the MGR era. It changed a bit in 2011, but then since after Jayalalitha's demise, the DMK has been sort of a singular force as far as Chennai city is concerned. Vijay's entry there is a test, because the AIADMK, at least some observers would say, while it retains some presence in organization structure, has relegated largely to the other parts, Western Tamil Nadu and Southern Tamil Nadu. So this battle, and I think today, when you have those screens of both Stalin and Vijay filing their nominations, it may not be the battle for Tamil Nadu, but it may be the defining image in the battle for Chennai. And that's crucial for the DMK, because remember, this is the DMK stronghold. Let's see how this plays out, but extremely interesting day ahead.
That's right, Veera. In fact, I'd also like to point out that sometimes I do feel that Udayanidhi has as a tougher battle compared to Stalin, because AIDMK would have probably maybe expected the AIDMK to field a senior minister or somebody, but they have a former councillor, Sanatana Krishna, against MK Stalin. Udayanidhi, on the other hand, faces a tough battle, not a tough battle, but at least more of a challenge than Kolathur. We are joined by Madhavan Narayanan, senior journalist. We have Ramsamy Mayappan, political analyst. We have Shankar Iyer, who's also an analyst. And we have R.K. Radhakrishnan, who's a senior journalist. R.K., to you first. You have known Kolathur like, nobody else. So explain to us, what does winning in Kolathur mean for Stalin, and also increasing his winning margins, because those victory margins have only widened since 2011. Is this a battle for North Chennai? Is this a battle for Chennai? Or is this also a battle for Stalin to show the world, show the people of Tamil Nadu that he is the rightful heir to Karunanidhi's legacy and to Periyar's legacy?
All of that, I would agree, Vasudha, because one, of course, Kolathur is an individual battle, number one. And this is a place that MK Stalin has preferred after, he moved on from Thousand Lights constituency, where he had lost once. So Kolathur is a place that he has consistently competed. He has won in 2011, which was a very difficult election. There is an election petition in the Supreme Court as of now. The orders have been reserved. We are waiting to see when the orders will be pronounced on this particular election petition, wherein, the losing candidate had, Saide Durasamy, had preferred a complaint against the High Court order. The High Court had said that there was no electronic, evidence was not admissible. So one, of course, Kolathur is a very important constituency, and he really wants to win it with a massive margin. Number two, of course, this is also, as far as Stalin is concerned, the heart of North and Northwest Chennai. So he's locked in some ways in a fight with, Vijay, who is in the neighboring constituency in Perambur, again, North Madras. So this actually, the battle for Tamil Nadu is actually a battle for these two seats in North Madras. Will Vijay be able to poll more votes than MK Stalin? Okay, we have to come to that only after Vijay's affidavit is actually accepted, nomination is accepted. There are fears that since he owns property jointly with
all right, we're getting some live visuals coming in as well. Just a moment, sir. We have some live visuals also coming in of the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister. I believe, Vasudha, these are coming in from Kolathur?
Yeah, he's all set to file his nomination, and this is, like RK was pointing out, Vedika, this is an important day for Tamil Nadu. MK Stalin is all set to file his nomination. He's seeking a fourth term from Kolathur, a constituency that he has represented since the constituency came into being in 2011. He has never lost from there, and Kolathur has seen only one legislator. That's MK Stalin.
All right, we are also being told that Vijay is also on his way to file his nomination. We should be able to see him on the screen is what I'm being told in moments from now. But let's go back to Mr. Narayanan as well, who's standing by. Mr. Narayanan, staying with MK Stalin for a moment here. Is this election shaping up as a multi-pronged contest according to you, or is it still overwhelmingly for Stalin to lose?
Is simply not the right word, Vedika. I think I wouldn't use that word at all. It is a tough contest. I wouldn't even call it multi-pronged, but it is multi-pronged in a way very different from what one might
technically it is.
Yeah, technically, but that's the point I'm trying to illustrate. It's not a clash of three equals, which is what would ideally make it multi-pronged. It is where the question is whether Vijay will be smart enough to be a spoiler, let us say, in several constituencies, the way Prashant Kishore was in Bihar, or the way BJP wants to be in Kerala in the current elections. So specific constituency details matter. In fact, I would say that the past, if you're looking at just the past three elections, the convincing, Stalin has had very convincing margins in his own domestic constituency, the pocket borough called Kolathur. But there are rub-off effects on the other constituencies where it's no longer a cakewalk for the DMK in Chennai anywhere, but there's a lot of hard work. And in a multi-pronged situation, the spoiler plays such a major role that if Vijay's party takes off DMK's...
Sorry to interrupt you. We also have visuals of Vijay filing his nomination from Perambur. He's also accompanied by Basi Anand, who's the General Secretary of the TVK. We also have Sam Daniel joining us. Those visuals, Vedika, look at the competing visuals there. It's Stalin in Kolathur, a constituency that he has represented for 3 terms. He's seeking a 4th term. And Vijay, on the other hand, in Perambur, filing his nomination there. So
on the same day, at the same time.
Yes.
And this talks about what we've been saying. You have the challenger to the right of your screen. You have the incumbent, rather, to the right of your screen. And to the left is what some call a disruptor, some call the dark horse, Vasudha, and some call the kingmaker.
Absolutely. And at least with regard to Chennai, it looks like a TVK versus a DMK fight for now in terms of just optics. Sam Daniel joins us. Sam, tell us, what is the mood like with regard to the CM's nomination? Does the DMK see this as a cakewalk? Because clearly looking at his margins, it's going to be an easy victory for him. But is he apprehensive about the TVK's impact?
This could be an easy fight. Well, Vasudha, we are outside the Chennai Corporation's office at Perambur, where MK Stalin has just come to file his nomination. And he has won from the Kolathur seat for 4 times. 3 times he's seeking a 4th term. He has been winning here since 2011. And this time the AIDMK has fielded Santana Krishnan, and it's going to be a triangular contest with active Vijay's TVK to fielding its candidate. We expect MK Stalin to hop onto this vehicle after filing his nomination. We're not too sure whether he's going to have a token launch at Kolathur, but the Jeep is kept ready. And the DMK feels this will be a cakewalk for them because MK Stalin, they say, has done a lot of work on the ground in this constituency, which has a huge middle-class population, an area once known for flooding during monsoon season. And they say, although the challenge is yet to be fully solved, he has done a major work which has made a huge difference, they say. Besides the construction of hospitals, schools, and several other facilities for the local people. On the other side, you see people lining up to greet MK Stalin on the roadside. And let's speak to Prasanna, the DMK spokesperson, who's also a candidate from Egmore. Thank you very much for your time. TVK is also fighting in Kolathur. Chief Minister MK Stalin seeking a 4th term. Do you think it's going to be a difficult fight?
It's not at all difficult, and we should not compare that, that Mr. MK Stalin is the very predominant leader, and he did a lot of things for this developed state. It is all super state, a supermodel state, and he's a super chief minister of this Tamil Nadu. And we are going to compare with the other countries, not with the other state. So he is the example for the best CM, and it's a triggering point and it's a starting point for Dravida Model 2.0. Thank you.
It's going to be a 5-cornered contest. Do you think it will be a close fight in all these states this time?
Sir, I don't say that this is a democracy, and everyone should be participate, and the people with us, and we are with the people, and our leader is going to be start for Dravida Model 2.0 from here.
You two are a contestant in Egmore. All the best.
Thank you.
That was DMK spokesperson Prasanna. But Vasudha, the larger picture, this comes at a time in another part of Chennai, not far away from here. You have Vijay also filing his nomination, and Udinidhi Stalin will be filing his nomination on the 6th of this month, and he would launch his campaign at Kanchipuram later this evening. The larger picture, the DMK aims for a second consecutive term. The AIADMK, which has been losing 3 consecutive elections, is hopeful of a revival of lost political fortunes on the ground. And you also have a new player, actor Vijay's TVK, that's trying to make a splash, and they're extremely confident that there is a huge groundswell of support, especially from the younger and women population across the state, and they are confident that they'll be able to capture power the way MGR and Annadurai in the year 67 and 77 had captured power. And you also have 2 other players, director Seeman, who traditionally fights alone. And this time, Sasikala, expelled AIADMK leader, has teamed up with the PMK founder Ramadas to field candidates across Tamil Nadu. So it's going to be a fascinating 5-cornered election. But the key contest could be between the ruling DMK, the key opposition AIADMK, and the new player TVK chief, actor Vijay.
All right, I'm going to go to Vijay in a moment from now. For more details on the actor filing his nomination. But Veera, you wanted to make a point.
No, look, I was just mentioning over this visuals of MK Stalin filing the nomination, and RK can perhaps bear me out. Stalin as a politician, it would be fascinating. He has been a fascinating watch, right, over the last decade or so. He's different from the Stalin who went in as opposition leader in 2021. This is a far more pragmatic politician at some level, despite the fact that he has been portrayed by his party as the only big personality there. I think there is a realization and the underlying nervousness, as you see those images there, of the Vijay factor, which is why they've had this massive, large rainbow alliance, which many have questioned at the moment in terms of getting that electoral arithmetic together. So as we play those pictures, R.K. Radhakrishnan, there is genuinely a sense of nervousness within the DMK, which is why they have had such a comprehensive manifesto to combat anti-incumbency, as well as have that huge alliance, which were 26 parties, including the DMDK, not leaving anything to chance, offering Rajya Sabha seats like open doors, and then making sure that no ally leaves the alliance.
Okay, that's a very important question. Just to add to what Veera said.
All right, Stalin is speaking, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister. Let's cut across.
நிறுத்தப்பட்டிருக்கிறது என்னை அமோகமான வாக்கு வித்தியாசத்தில் நிச்சயமாக வெற்றி பெற வைப்பார்கள் என்று முழு நம்பிக்கையோடு
தமிழகம் முழுவதும் கூட்டணி நீங்க வலுவா அமைச்சிருக்கின்ற ஒரு காக்கு இருக்கு. எப்படியான ஒரு பிரச்சாரம் இருக்கும் எதிர்பார்க்கலாம்?
எப்போதும் போல வலுவா இருக்கும்.
நன்றி சார், நன்றி.
Heard from the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister. If you could just tell us the key takeaway from what he said.
The Kutni, the Secular Progressive Alliance, is intact and it will win. It will register a win as expected. RK, adding on to what Veera has asked you, the fact that there could be a sense of apprehension in DMK camps now that the candidate list of TVK is out. And, one thing that's been making news is also Tirumavaluvan wanting to contest. Is there a certain anxiety amongst a section of the DMK leaders that certain vote banks could be moving to the TVK?
Absolutely. I think that is the fear. In fact, the surveys bear it out. The cities have seen a large turnout for Vijay, and it appears that Vijay is gaining ground in cities. If you look at one of the surveys that I had an opportunity to look at, looks like Chennai is, doing very well for Vijay. Very well, I mean, over 15% for Vijay. The next city is Coimbatore, the third is Trichy, and the fourth is Madurai. Now, given the fact that this is the, exactly that what at the topmost is Chennai, and that is why I think Mr. M.K. Stalin also was very particular in removing some of the names of the candidates.
வெளியிட்டிருக்கிற அந்த மாதிரி திட்டங்களை நிறைவேற்றுறோம்.
5 முனை போட்டு யாருக்கு சாதகமா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க?
எத்தனை முனை போட்டியாக இருந்தாலும் எங்களுடைய கூட்டணிக்கு தான் சாதகமா இருக்கும்.
Chief Minister M.K. Stalin speaking to us after filing his nomination, seeking a fourth term from Kolathur in Chennai.
Okay, so that was Sam Daniel speaking with Stalin. We'll try and replay that conversation for you. But prior to that, Stalin even went on to say that the alliance is intact.
So M.K. Stalin is clearly saying, regardless of whoever is the challenger, our alliance is going to perform well. That's the confidence. RK, is there optimism? Is that optimism? Is that confidence? How do you see this?
There is absolutely no anti-incumbency against M.K. Stalin. I mean, he is Teflon coated, just like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, just like Pinarayi Vijayan. Somehow these leaders manage to, beat anti-incumbency. But that's not the same case with the party or with the other MLAs. This is the only problem in the fact that I'm very sure that Stalin is probably going to win Kolathur, and that is why you see a weak ADMK candidate there. And just as Vasudha said a little while ago, there is a very strong candidate in Adi Rajaram in Chepak Thiruvalakeni, where Udayanithi Stalin is contesting, because they believe that Udayanithi Stalin can be defeated. And TVK also has had a very good candidate there who just moved on from the Congress and is contesting, for TVK in Chepak Thiruvalakeni. You would remember in 2021, Vasudha, the seat was ADMK allotted the seat to the Patali Makkal Kachi, and because of that, literally it was a cakewalk for Udayanithi Stalin. And unfortunately now, Udayanithi has a much bigger fight on his hands, and he has to really be in the constituency if he wants to win.
All right, let's also take a moment here, Mr. Iyer, to talk about the youth voters. With Vijay entering the fray, how do you see the youth voting in this upcoming election? Also, do you see Vijay as a vote cutter when it comes to these elections?
I think if you see the nervousness among parties, this is just now we saw a very interesting split screen contest between Stalin and Vijay, sort of competing for time, attention, screen space by filing the nominations at the same time in neighboring constituencies. The challenge for the DMK is that it has to fight its own image, its own incumbency. For the advantage for Vijay is that is an unknown commodity, and he has popularity among both women and among the youth. His youth popularity is very interesting. It is not so much in the first-time voters, but in the third-time or the fourth-time voters, with somebody who is around, say, 30 plus to 40. And that person would have seen both an ADMK government and a DMK government. That kind of person is also...
And that I think is an interesting segment of voters, and it could cut across voters who've been voting for the DMK and the AIDMK. So TVK could really optimize on the strength and popularity of Vijay. But Vedika, let's go across to Vijay Gopal, who has been tracking Vijay's movements. Vijay Gopal, the last few days, Vijay has been using a lot of dramatic appeal. Yesterday the optics of him talking to the driver's son, and just the way he greeted all his candidates. He's bringing in a lot of, a filmy magic into his campaign, his politics. And starting today, it's going to be a blitzkrieg campaign. He's going to visit all constituencies. Tell us how prepared is the TVK and what was the mood around in Perambur?
Vasudha, as we speak, Vijay just now concluded his, after concluding his nomination, filing his nomination, he just left his spot, and it looks like already he had started his campaign from where he filed his nomination, because as you show there, fans have gathered here on huge numbers to welcome TVK Chief Vijay and his convoy. Campaign vehicle unable to move from here. That much of supporters we able to see here. It was not a planned campaign, because he is expected to start his campaign around 2 p.m. only. But there is a huge crowd outside the returning officer office, where exactly Vijay filed his nomination. On two sides there are vehicles, and you see huge number of fans are here. Let's try to speak with them. What exactly they are feeling and let's try to have a word with the fan also. Vijay பார்க்க வந்தீங்க. என்ன இந்த தொகுதியில போட்டிடுறாரு எப்படி பாக்குறீங்க?
ரொம்ப ஆர்வமா இருக்கு, நல்லா பாக்குறோம். விஜய் பார்க்க ரொம்ப ஆர்வமா அந்த பாத்துற ஒரு வழியா.
விஜய் ஜெயிப்பார் நினைக்கிறீங்களா பெரம்பூர் தொகுதியில?
நிச்சயமா ஜெயிப்பார். விஜய்க்கு நான் வாக்களிப்பேன் நான்.
Many fans here, group of fans and who have come here. அக்கா விஜய் பாத்தீங்களா? விஜய் வெற்றி பெறுவார்.
பார்த்தோம் அவர்தான் வெற்றி பெறுவாரு.
ஆனா திமுக இந்த தொகுதியில தொடர்ந்து ஜெயிச்சிட்டு வருது. இந்த வாட்டி எப்படி விஜய் நெய்ப்பார் நினைக்கிறீங்க?
அண்ணன் அவரோட பணத்தை செலவு பண்ணி வந்திருக்காரு. அதனால டிவிக்கு இந்த வருஷம் எப்பவுமே
This kid is saying, but he can't vote in this election. But he's a huge Vijay fan, and you see how supporters have gathered here. This is not a planned, organized crowd, but this is going to be a huge challenge for TVK also in terms of arranging campaign for TVK Chief Vijay. But remember, 2 days back, Vijay was scheduled to start his campaign, but it got rejected by a returning officer saying that there is a possibility of huge crowd and 3,000 crowd unable to hold in wherever the location TVK asked for. But this is going to be a challenging situation for TVK because only we have 20 days for all political parties to complete the campaign. So how TVK going to manage this crowd, how they are going to handle the crowd is going to be a hectic task for TVK, Vasudha.
Veera, I want to come to you now. Do you see this turnout as organic political support, or do you see this as a mix of political support and fan frenzy?
You know, I'll give you a simple example. I was in Perambur a few days ago to have roast milk and have a chat with Felix Gerald, the TVK spokesperson. They had a new office that was inaugurated the day before I went there. I asked him, where is the office? He said, I don't know. Most of the people there, when you ask them where the office is, this TVK office, they didn't know where Perambur office is. But the moment Vijay comes, they want to come and see. Look, this fan frenzy is beyond question.
Yes.
But this fan frenzy cannot be discounted. And I think the DMK is not discounting it. While we have been questioning it and the DMK has been portraying this narrative very clearly that, look, you know, we are not upset by the TVK. We see this as a DMK versus NDA battle. Deep down, they know that Vijay is the disruptor and a serious disruptor at that. And while RK can quote surveys or whatever else, let me just say that no survey can predict sometimes chemistry. Chemistry can hit the ball out of the park.
True.
And that's the aim for a Vijay, this one. And Stalin, I think, has been very pragmatic as we talk about this to create the alliance, make sure he's left no stone unturned, having both chemistry, having both, the electoral arithmetic and also enough substance to try and counter anti-incumbency. I may also just add a very quick point to what Shekhar Iyer was saying. It's not just the youth vote. If you see how Vijay was speaking before announcing the candidates, it's about telling the youth that you are the influencers, go get me your family to come and vote. So I think there's an enormous phenomenon that's at play. We'll have to see how powerful it is electorally eventually, but then it is a very, very important phenomenon to watch out.
That's a very valid point. Madhavan Narayanan, you see the TVK taking on DMK strongholds. They are going for this big gamble by Vijay, being a candidate in Perambur and also in Delta, which is Trichy East. You see Senthil Balaji contesting in the stronghold of the AIDMK, and he is responsible for 35 seats. So you see both these parties showing that they're very aggressive. Where is Edapadiyar in all of this? Why is the NDA not portraying that sense of aggression?
I think NDA is trying to be a responsible alternative to DMK based on 3 factors. One is a rural hold both in the north of the state as well as the
You mean west and south?
Northwest, I would say. I mean,
not northwest, west and south.
West and south. Yeah, sorry. I'm looking at it from a map perspective. Yeah, west and south, but more towards the Karnataka side is what I meant. The other is the south, of course, and there's a rural emphasis as well as an organizational emphasis of being a responsible previous chief minister, which has a sense of gravitas that should appeal, because a lot of people will vote not on the basis of who should win, but who is likely to win.
Yeah.
And any anti-incumbency mood, the ADMK will have that kind of gravitas in the edge. But also, I have this conspiracy theory. We are living in the age of Durandar, where I can always present counterfactuals, as we say, which is one of the counterfactuals is that if there is a tacit understanding, which I have mentioned to Veera Raghava last time, tactical understanding between NDA and Vijay's party, TVK, in that case, some of the constituency level details might indirectly benefit ADMK. Let me give you two important facts which might be related, but you can sense for yourself what it means. In Perambur as well as Kolathur, where Vijay and Stalin are contesting, 5% of the voters are in the below 24 age group. And Shankar Iyer already mentioned the fact that the older youth votes will probably constitute Vijay's fan base. The newer votes always tend to vote with a sense of power and attitude, what in Tamil we call gettu, in colloquial Tamil. When they vote, all that will strike.
We'll just have to cut across live to Mr. Stalin.
இது மதச்சார்பற்ற முற்போக்கு கூட்டணி. அதான் டெல்லியும் தமிழ்நாடும் போராடுது. டெல்லியில் இருந்து தமிழ்நாடு போராடிட்டு இருக்கு. தமிழ்நாட்டு உரிமையை காப்பாற்றுறதுக்காக இந்த வெற்றி பெரிய வெற்றியா அமைப்போம்.
All right, so that was the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister speaking there. I'm going to go across to Mr. Mayappan as well. Mr. Mayappan, thank you for standing by. In today's noise of TVK versus DMK, is the AIA-DMK perhaps being underestimated? Talk to us about their strengths. When we look at these two protagonists today, there is, of course, a third factor, a strong factor, which is the AIA-DMK.
Yeah, I think the lead protagonist here is Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy, the former Chief Minister, the present opposition leader. The reason why I say that is he's fighting on a strong anti-incumbency issue that the DMK is facing. Independent of this, he's someone who's shown his ability to govern the state and the party at the time when the party lost one of its most important leaders in J. Jayalalitha. People are talking that his governance will not last a week, 3 weeks, 6 months, maybe a year. But he ended up serving for 4.5 years, keeping the party together, keeping the state together. During that period, he was able to bring in 11 medical colleges to the state. He was able to bring multiple private institutions to the state. He was able to bring in investment in terms of infrastructure building, investments in terms of manufacturing setup, investments for service setup. He was able to do all this, and he still maintained good relationships with the center.
Ramaswamy Mayappan, as you make that point, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, I just want to ask you this very simple, straight question. While Edappadi is the grassroots politician, the fact that he has not evolved into this personality who has that macho or gettu as what Madhavan Narayan was referring to is perhaps his biggest liability. And number two, has he reduced his party in a sense? The Two Leaves is very strong organizationally. Nobody is questioning it. But have they reduced largely to be the OBC Gounder party or an OBC Paver party, which was not a conversation we've had in Tamil Nadu? You see, the top leader has to be someone who's above any kind of caste, this one. But unfortunately, the big disadvantage, agree or not, for Edappadi Palaniswamy is that he's sort of confined within a caste narrative. Yes or no?
See, that is a media narrative that the DMK is trying to set. And I don't think the educated and the more capable Tamil Nadu people fall into the trap. The simple example that I'll give you for that, his candidate choices made now and announced, the 164 that he's announced. If he were to only look at people in the West, then he would have dropped the ball with regards to people coming from other parties, people in his party, traditional leaders of the party in the southern part of Tamil Nadu and the northeastern part of Tamil Nadu. But that is not the case. Look at the candidates who are there, who are competent ministers of the past, who are competent MLAs of the past. They have not broken rank with the ADMK and joined another party. They all belong to a different community, either be the Naidus or be the Vanyas or be the Tevars. All these communities have continued to stay with the ADMK. All these community leaders who have their own capabilities in the respective constituency in the region have stayed back, won their ticket legitimately, and are contesting today. That's the reason, like what Dr. R.K. Radhakrishnan said, every constituency is an independent fight. Even for Mr. Stalin, the Chief Minister, his Kolathur constituency is an independent fight in itself. He will have to show how a 12-year-old bridge is still under construction, how a 9-year-old water tank is still under construction. Why have these things not been completed? That's the incapability of this government. He talked about the Dravida Model 2.0, the old pension scheme, yesterday during his manifesto launch and today during his nomination filing. But what happened? What is the financial outlay for the old pension scheme? There is no financial outlay. Why bring it to the tail end? Therefore, they do not have to take the responsibility.
Let me take this question to Shankar Iyer. Shankar Iyer, you know, after the 2024 elections as well, and even before that, we know that the Prime Minister did go to Kanyakumari. He has invested a lot culturally, politically in Tamil Nadu. Do you see that effort of the BJP specifically fructifying this election? Because it looks to us that, it seems to me that Edapadi Palanichami has been given complete freedom from the BJP side this time to do whatever he wants, and that was visible in the way tickets were also distributed, because clearly there is an understanding that what happened in 2024 cannot get repeated.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time the BJP has actually been a little strategic about its truth. After having tried splitting votes, after having tried aggression, after having tried the cultural experiments, it has simply ceded ground to Edapadi, who, I agree, doesn't have the persona, Veera, but he's less urban than the other two people, Vijay and Stalin. He also suffers from having been the subordinate to Jayalalitha for a long time. So these things matter in politics. His persona has to come out. He's also a reluctant engager on television, on modern media.
Shankar, but what surprised Vasudha and I and Shiv when we did the interview with Edapadi Palanichami during our conclave, he is fascinating. He smiles at everyone. Whatever questions you want to ask him, you ask him. He will give you an answer smiling. In fact, he was the most forthcoming in taking on any questions from anybody. Others were saying, no, you have to give us questions, etc. Edapadi said, fine, give me the questions and I'll answer it.
In fact, we asked him, do you like Vijay? And he said, yes, he's a good actor. I like him for his acting skills. Yes.
The thing about him is he's very rooted to the ground. You see, what he is, in a sense, the silent player in this election, whereas the Stalin and Vijay are the loud, visible players. Now, it remains to be seen how much voting BJP... See, Edapadi is also conscious that he's carrying the incumbency of the central government, which is 12 years old, and all the issues that are playing out now after the war. He has to carry that, and even though the seats that BJP is contesting may be fewer, he does have that burden and has to manage that. His challenge is more to keeping the flock together. In that sense, as Veera said, that there is that shade of OBC playing out on him, but very much he's seen as an all caste, all person character, rural, from Salem, and hasn't had any controversy really, which is helpful in a state which is looking for a change.
I'm going to bring in Mr. Narayanan as well. We are just talking about personalities here, Mr. Narayanan. So I want to ask you, looking back at Tamil Nadu, is it still driven primarily by caste-driven politics, or is it moving closer towards personality-led politics?
Actually, the answer is very interesting, which is that caste has been, in Tamil Nadu, nobody uses the word caste anymore. They use the word samugam, which literally means community. So community leaders are still important. In fact, I wanted to add to what Shankar was saying that Edapadi Palanichami can be very easily seen talking to various community leaders across the semi-urban and rural parts of Tamil Nadu, which means that there is a kinship factor playing out. But it is not in the blind loyalty sense of the old sense. In political science, we have a concept called the interest group politics. And a lot of caste politics in Tamil Nadu has changed into interest group politics. A Velalar, Kongu Velalar may be technically a caste, but actually it's a farming communities plank. So that part of community-oriented caste is still playing out, in which Edapadi Palanichami can actually have a good conversation and aggregate votes through a very rational kind of a conversation and not blind loyalty or old sentiments. So that is very, very important in understanding the dynamics.
Right. We also have Dr. Sumantraman joining us now. Veera, you wanted to make a point.
No, Madhavan, and adding to what Vedika was asking, and I think it's an extremely important question, Vasudha. Vedika, the impression of Tamil Nadu has been a state that's been defined by personalities, right? It's had personalities for the since the 1960s, you've had personalities dominated. And since it became an MGR versus Karunanidhi rivalry, it was a personality clash between this fascinating orator, writer, and this fascinating star. Then it became a Jayalalitha versus Karunanidhi battle. Until 2016-17, We are talking perhaps for the first time where you don't have the
Exactly, in
personality
10 years at least.
that we are talking about at that time. Now, you see what Madhavan Narayan is saying, and I just very briefly add, Vasudha, is that, you see, the Dravidian ideology does not allow for a caste-based debate. It's a social justice ideology which takes everybody along. So in a Dravidian context, you cannot speak caste. In fact, I remember in the 2006 assembly elections, a statement that was made by M. Karunanidhi in Theni regarding Vidudalai Sirthaigal Katchi, at that time the Dalit Panthers of India, and the Forward Bloc, which was a Tevar party, caused a lot of furor. So you don't speak caste openly in Dravidian politics, but what we talk as electoral arithmetic in Tamil Nadu, which is the basis, which is why you need have alliances, which is why a DMK with a Congress is a stronger alliance than a DMK versus AIDMK battle directly. So that arithmetic comes on the basis of caste, though it's not overtly spoken. Just that the top personality who represents the chief minister's face has always been one who has not been confined to one caste narrative.
Right. Veera, you know, for long, reporters from Chennai kept saying there's a vacuum, and this was specifically after Jayalalitha passed away and Karunanidhi passed away. We don't know if Vijay is actually ready to fill up that vacuum. We know that Stalin has in some ways emerged as a pan-state leader. Edappadi Palanichami also is a leader of the alliance. I do see a lot of dominant role that he's playing right now. But when it comes to politics of Chennai, Sumant Raman, help us understand. T Nagar is the birthplace of Justice Party. You know, Basi Anand is contesting from there. Perambur is going to be, Vijay is going to fight from Perambur. Is TVK openly threatening to change the politics of Chennai, which has in some ways given birth to probably the most virulent, or in the sense, most aggressive form of ideological opposition to the Hindutva narrative? Is that what the TVK is trying to do here?
Certainly one which has got an urban vote bank. Their vote bank is largely urban. They do not have much of a base in the rural areas. They do not even have adequate booth agents in the rural areas and so on. So therefore, it is but natural that they would try to throw bulk of their leaders in an urban constituencies. So even if you see Vijay's second constituency, it is Trichy East, which is again an urban constituency and largely dominated by minorities. So now we come to the four big leaders of the TVK, Mr. Vijay himself, Adav Arjuna, who's contesting from Villivakkam, Busi Anand, who's contesting from T Nagar. Incidentally, Busi Anand last was a MLA from Puducherry. He was not an MLA from Tamil Nadu at all. And the other one is Mr. Venkatraman, who's the party treasurer, who is contesting from Mylapore. So four of
J.C. Prabhakar from Thousand Lights.
And J.C.D. Prabhakar, who of course joined recently from the AIADMK, he's contesting from Thousand Lights. So they've thrown a lot of the leadership here. And I think that one objective would be to take on the DMK in its den, because everyone knows Chennai has been the fortress for the DMK, except very briefly in 2011 and partially in 2016 when Jayalalitha breached that 2014 in the Lok Sabha elections and so on. But by and large, it has been the fortress of the DMK. And Vijay believes that he would be able to make a mark or a dent in the DMK's vote bank in Chennai. Clearly, he's also being helped indirectly by the NDA, because they are fielding a PMK candidate in Perambur, who is a complete stranger to the constituency.
Sumant, hold your thought. Vasudha and Vedika, I just want to throw another point for you guys for discussion. What you're saying about this tacit understanding, NDA may be subtly aiding, does this then emerge, Vasudha, Sumant and Vedika, into an election which is Madhavan Narayan and Shekhar Iyer as well, where there are going to be two separate contests? One is the DMK-TVK contest in hotbeds like northern Tamil Nadu, where especially Chennai and the Delta districts in Trichy, and a DMK-ADMK kind of contest in the western and southern Tamil Nadu. Or is this going to be a three-way contest across the board?
No, this is a two-way contest, Veera. This is between the DMK front and the AIADMK front. TVK will have some impact on taking.
Sumant Raman, largely if you look at the candidate list of all three parties, there is a certain sense of, I don't think there's an explicit setting, but there is a sense of understanding that top leaders will win the elections, and that's what Edappadi has done.
There is an understanding.
None of the senior leaders are facing any great contest. Even Stalin is not really facing that sense of intense challenge.
I think you would have to go back to the Jayalalitha days, where she will pit a heavyweight against the incumbent chief minister or the biggest leader of the opposition party, of whichever was of the DMK. They would invariably pit a strong candidate against them. Now, both sides are playing it safe.
Yes.
There is a completely unknown lightweight who's taking on Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy in Edappadi constituency.
Absolutely.
There is even Mr. Santana Krishnan who's contesting against Mr. Stalin in Kolathur is a stranger even to AIDMK cadres.
Yeah.
They also don't know him very well. So I think it is bizarre that we are seeing, time up. We saw it classically in 2021, where the NDA changed its candidate at the last minute and moved Khushbu out from Chepauk. She was to contest against Udayanidhi Stalin. They moved her out and gave the seat to the PMK, which has zero presence in Chepauk. So there is a lot of setting going on. Make no mistake, this whole thing is, at the end of the day, the ones who are being taken for a ride are the people.
Ramasamy Mayappan, what is your prediction for the outcome? Do you really think that if a party is not able to get majority, I think the stakes are higher for DMK because they have to get majority here. Do you think that there could be any post-poll probable alliances that are possible in case it's a hung assembly?
The realistic scenario is everyone will want to form government, no one will want a second election. So the practical aspect of matters is there would be a look for a reasonable alliance, first ideologically, second in terms of what can be delivered to the people, third in terms of administrative cohesiveness. But irrespective, I don't think that will be the immediate scenario. Maybe for the two large parties, the AIDMK and the DMK, they may have to fight a bit more than what they normally do. Their strike rates may be slightly lower given the cohesiveness of the DMK's alliance being very low and the AIDMK having given out seats already now.
As you're saying this, the last time we had a genuine three-cornered contest, Vasudha, in Tamil Nadu is 2006, Vedika. 2006 was when Vijay Kant, there was an extra to the Vijay that was added at that time. Vijay Kant, who was the real disruptor. When he entered in 2006, it was the first time that we had a hung assembly in letter. Because while the coalition, the DMK coalition won the election and the DMK ran a government 5 years on its own, it was at 96 seats, well below the 117 mark. That's the first time since 1962-67 that we had a coalition kind of government.
Was that also the year, Veera, that people of Tamil Nadu got colourful TV sets, color TV sets, and that's one year we'll all remember.
Very briefly, Vasudha, I was asking a DMK leader on the ground saying, boss, will it be possible that we had? He said to me in Tamil, sir, namma oorkarangala romba viswasinga. They are all very loyal. No one will shift sides from parties because we've not seen horse trading in Tamil Nadu as we've seen in Karnataka, the neighboring state, or in other states. But he also added saying this will be the first time. That time Congress was in power. This time BJP is in power. We don't know what will happen this time. So you see, there is a lot of nervousness about what can possibly play out if the numbers don't add up. I don't know. State would be very interesting to watch.
And also, at this point, while people are saying that Vijay should be seen as a threat, the bottom line also is that he's splitting the opposition vote, Vasudha, which is important as well. That could be an advantage even for the DMK in the long run. But I believe we're running out of time. To our panelists, thank you so much for joining us. Veera, as always, great to have you on the show. We're going to wrap up this segment, but that's the image we leave you with. You have the challenger, you have the incumbent, both filing nominations at the same time at about 12:15 this afternoon. In about 3 weeks from now, Vasudha, we'll be able to tell our viewers more about who's the dark horse.
To the state, Vedika, is 2026 going to be 1967, 1977 or 2006, considering...
That's a good one to wrap up with. Absolutely. So thank you, panelists. We'll be back in a moment from now, but that's the top story we've been tracking for the last 1 hour there on your screens. Real versus real showdown, Stalin versus Vijay, at least on this blockbuster Monday.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp. Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions.
Expert advice. The latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide, and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma, and I am your automate.
मैं 11वीं कक्षा में था HL स्कूल और बहुत शदीद बहुत ज़ोरदार ऐसी मोहब्बत हुई कि लगा इसके बाद तो सब बिखर ही जाएगा अगर ये नहीं मिल गई तो। और वो नहीं मिली। दिल टूटना ज़रूरी होता है, कुछ भी टूटना ज़रूरी होता है कि बगैर टूटे एनर्जी कहाँ से आएगी। टूटे हुए दिल से आप बर्बाद हो जाएं, आप कहीं के ना रह जाएं, या आप उस टूटे हुए दिल के टुकड़े जोड़ के अपने ख्वाबों का शीश महल खड़ा कर लें, आपकी मर्जी।
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An NDTV world exclusive to Aditya Raj Kaul. Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसपे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
BJP double engine সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে।
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
Tamil Nadu elections don't play small. They play big. High stakes, high voltage, high drama. Before the blockbuster unfolds, the OT of election coverage comes to Tamil Nadu to track the elections, spotting the mood and bringing perspectives from every side. Battleground Tamil Nadu on NDTV network.
When others are warming up, I'm raring to go. The stories that matter, the stories that shape your life.
Hello and welcome to watching Prime 5 with me, Raisha Sehgal. What's happening? How to?
The show that sets the prime time agenda.
We'll be deep diving into this topic to tell you what's at stake.
Join me, Raisha Sehgal, on Prime 5 only on NDTV 24/7.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. and the world history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
To understand the Tamil Nadu twist, join me in the midst of our people, language and politics. Vanakkam Tamil Nadu, here we come.
Welcome back to Breaking Ground. I'm Vedika Sood. Our rolling coverage on the West Asia War continues here on NDTV 24/7. We're going to take you through the headlines. First up, US President Donald Trump plans ground operation to extract 400 kg of Iran's uranium, hints at Kurd seizure for taking oil. Reports say over 50,000 US troops have arrived in West Asia. Houthis' entry in Iran war triggers global oil nightmare after Hormuz. Bab el-Mandeb Strait at risk of becoming second major oil bottleneck. War enters second month. Israel prepares for multi-front war. Netanyahu says visible cracks in Iran regime. NDTV reports from Israeli town of Dimona, reports on the people who are living in the shadow of a nuclear facility in the area and the challenges involved. Ankit Tyagi reports from the ground.
Why is it important? Why is it significant? Why are we here after a week of those strikes? Because it is one of the strikes which was a direct impact, and it is also one of the places where a large number of people were injured. More than 60 people were injured here in this town.
Big nomination day in Tamil Nadu. Stalin files nomination from Kolathur. Exudes confidence. Vijay files nomination from Perambur. It's a big blockbuster Monday for the state. Kiran Rijiju trains guns on Mamta Banerjee, accuses Mamta Banerjee of voter intimidation, alleges she's threatening the people of Bengal to vote for her. The United States of America is reportedly preparing plans for limited boots-on-the-ground operations in Iran as the ongoing conflict with Tehran continues. According to recent reports, the number of troops in West Asia has now increased to 50,000, which is 10,000 more than the troops that were there or as usual. Now, in an interview to Financial Times, the US president has said that he would prefer to take Iran's oil and that the option exists to take Karg Island. A report on Wall Street Journal says that Trump is weighing options to extract uranium from Iran, but a final call on that is still to be taken. The Pentagon continues to emphasize that the goal remains achieving objectives without a full-scale invasion. Meanwhile, Iran's Speaker Bagher Ghalibaf has declared that Iranian forces are extremely and fully ready and will not surrender and are waiting for the United States troops to arrive on the ground.
I just have lots of alternatives. We have tremendous numbers of ships over there. We don't need them all because of, the power. Look, I would say we're just like we're ahead of schedule on the ballroom. In a much bigger way, we're ahead of schedule with Iran. We're weeks ahead of schedule. We'll have to find out if it's true. You know, they're going to do whatever they have to do. We could close that up in 2 minutes. We could close that up so fast your head would spin.
با توجه به شرارت‌ها و اقدامات تروریستی دشمنان آمریکایی صهیونیستی و هدف قرار دادن منازل مسکونی مردم ایران در شهرهای مختلف، نیروهای مسلح جمهوری اسلامی ایران در اقدامی تلافی جویانه محل سکونت فرماندهان و مسئولان سیاسی آمریکا و رژیم صهیونیستی در منطقه و سرزمین‌های اشغالی را هدف قرار خواهند داد.
Ankit Tyagi now joining me live from Dimona in Israel. Ankit, I first want to ask you what you've seen around you over the last 24 hours. You've been sending us so many ground reports from the area. I want to understand what your discussions and conversations with people has been till now in the context of where you are.
You know, it's a very interesting thing that you've asked me, especially when you talk to people here. And Vedika, I was here last year as well in June when the 12-day war, with Iran at that point of time had happened. And at that point of time, there were a lot of people, those who were opposed to this war. I mean, there were protests, though there has been one protest which happened on Saturday evening, but the numbers are very less this time. There is a fatigue factor. In 30 days, people complain about continuous missile siren and everything else that keeps happening. You can't sleep in the night. If you have children, you are running with your children through the night if it happens twice or thrice. But there is a very large support for this war as far as the Israeli people are concerned. In fact, just a couple of days back, there was a report which was published in major newspapers here in Israel which said 78% people want to see this war through. They believe that this is the war that will end all wars for Israel. But, if you talk about strategically, speaking, there are pressures as far as the people are concerned and also on the army. The chief of staff here had come out and very clearly said that the army, which has been continuously fighting for the last almost 3 years from Gaza to now, is absolutely stretched thin. Reservists have been called in for multiple tours. They are tired. That is having an impact on them. For last 1 month, schools are shut, colleges are shut, businesses are suffering. So all those things are also taken in account. But, it has support. People do see Iran as the existential threat for Israel. And that is what they believe this war will bring an end to. But there is also now questions being raised that why it had taken 30 days. Because initially the assessment was that it will be a very swift operation, the regime change will happen, and that is something that is not happening. I'm yet not sure how many people do want to see boots on the ground, because that is something that they believe Iran is not Lebanon or Gaza that you can just walk in. So amidst all those questions, there is support for this war. The people, mostly those who are anti-war, have been very little in number, or at least their protests have been very little. But overall, there is a sense that was not there last year. The sense of protection that Israel had, that to a certain degree has been taken off. There have been missile strikes which have taken place, whether it's Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, every single day 1 or 2 missiles do cross in. In fact, what the Israeli Air Force has and the security forces have said that at this moment their strike rate to intercept is about 92%. They are intercepting almost 92 out of 100 missiles that are launched towards them. But as the time stretches, there are question marks over how much is America willing to continue this war, and that possibly is the only thing that the people of Israel are looking at this moment.
All right, Ankit, we've got a view of the perspective from Israel. Let's bring in a perspective from Tehran, Iran as well. Yusuf Jalali joining me live. Yusuf, very good afternoon to you from here in New Delhi. I want to ask you, there are reports now emerging, of course, of Donald Trump planning a ground operation. From the last time we spoke, which was last week, end of last week to now, it seems to be more of a possibility, even Ankit pointing out at these reports at this point. I want to ask you, how is Tehran reacting to it? We've heard from the regime saying, bring it on, we're waiting and we're ready. But the reality on the ground could play out differently if and when this happens. You also have reports coming in now that 50,000 US troops have arrived in West Asia.
Well, of course, the rhetoric here in Iran is one of preparedness and defiance. We have been hearing serious messages coming from Iranian officials, including the spokesperson for the Iranian Armed Forces Central Command, Mr. Zulfiqari, who said that the commanders, the American commanders and troops would be, quote unquote, good food for the sharks of the Persian Gulf. And of course, similar comments coming from Speaker of Iran's parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, who said that we're waiting for you, we're ready, then we're ready to set you on fire. And not just you, the Americans, but also the regional countries, he called them regional partners, who assist the Americans in any kind of boots on the ground scenario. So Iran is saying that it has the experience of 8 years of conventional warfare with the Iraqis back in the 1980s, an 8-year Iraqi-imposed war on Iran. Many of the commanders, the IRGC commanders you see now talking, come from those years of the Iraqi war and have rich experience in managing and leading ground operations. So Iran seems to be very much confident that it can resist and it can fight back in case of any kind of boots on the ground scenario coming from the United States.
All right. Ankit, I'm going to come back to you in a while from now, but I want our viewers to understand at this point, you have Donald Trump planning ground operations to extract 400 kg of Iran's uranium. I want to break it down exactly what Donald Trump's plan is, and here's some graphics to simplify it for our viewer. We are also going to talk about why is it so risky. First, let's talk about the objective here. The objective when it comes to Donald Trump is that he wants to ensure that Iran can never build a nuclear weapon. That is what he wants. And to do that, the focus is on nearly 400 kilograms of highly enriched uranium material that is just a step away from weapons, according to the US. Now, weapons grade is what I mean here. Now, what is the plan? The idea being discussed is a possible ground operation inside Iran. This would involve US special forces entering Iranian territory, reaching key nuclear sites like Isfahan and Natanz, and physically seizing that uranium. This material is believed to be stored in 40 to 50 special cylinders and would need to be secured, packed safely, and then airlifted out, which means even setting up an airfield if one is not available. At the same time, there is a parallel strategy, of course, which is diplomatic pressure on Iran to hand over this material voluntarily and avoid military escalation, which is highly unlikely given the rhetoric that even Yusuf Jalali was pointing out that is emerging from Tehran at this point. But here's then, viewer, where the risks come in. First, this would mean US boots on the ground in Iran, a direct military incursion into Iranian territory, something that could quickly escalate into a much larger war. Second, the threat of retaliation. Iran could respond with missile strikes, drone attacks, or target US bases and allies across the region. Third, the operation itself is extremely complex. The nuclear material is believed to be buried under bombed mountain facilities. US forces would have to enter active combat zones, clear the debris, deal with possible mines or booby traps, and secure the area before extraction. This is a prolonged process and cannot be done within a limited timeline. Fourth, this may not be a short mission, like I just said. What is being described as a quick operation could take days, even longer, and risks turning into a prolonged conflict. Fifth, the regional impact. Any escalation could disrupt the Strait of Hormuz further, sending global oil prices surging further and draw in other countries in the Middle East who for now have been standing by, they've been observing, and they've been issuing warnings to Tehran. And finally, the political cost back home for the President of the United States of America. With elections approaching, the midterm elections, a long or costly war could have serious domestic consequences for Donald Trump. And there are already differences within his own team on how far to go. You've also had resignations from the top strata that we brought to you in the last 1 month. So then, what is the bottom line? The bottom line is, if the US does nothing, Iran could retain the ability to build a nuclear weapon. But if the US moves in by force, it risks triggering a much wider and more dangerous war. Now let's bring to you US ground operations. Why is it easier said than done. Any US ground operation would first have to cross the Strait of Hormuz right into the teeth of Iran's defenses. Karg Island, remember, is heavily fortified, is being further fortified by Iran, by the IRGC, and Tehran holds the home field advantage, just miles from its mainland. Military experts warn that occupation could prove far harder than invasion. Even if Marines land, Iran's rockets and swarms of fast boats could keep up relentless attacks. Every supply vessel, every oil tanker could be a target. And with US forces operating so close to Iran's shores, the risk of high casualties looms large. Now, as the war enters the second month, we're on day 31. We have some powerful images that we want to bring to you from the West Asian region. Let's start with smoke rising in Tehran following Israeli airstrikes. Israel said it hit Tehran with more munitions. Israel's military said that over the past 24 hours, its fighter jets had dropped more than 120 munitions in Tehran, targeting sites used for weapons research, development, and production. Petrochemical facility targeted in northwestern Tabriz in Iran.
Oh!
A missile fragment that fell on a factory outside of the southern Israeli city of Beersheba set a pesticide tank on fire, sending black plumes of smoke and billowing flames high into the air. Iranian air defense activated over Tehran, followed by reports of heavy strikes. Air defense systems were activated above Tehran, followed by witness reports of heavy strikes on Iran's capital. Intense Israeli airstrikes hammer Hezbollah strongholds in Beirut's southern suburbs, sending massive plumes of thick black smoke billowing over the city skyline. Israeli settlers set fire to several Palestinians' vehicles in the Al-Rawa area of Al-Arub camp north of Al-Khalil. This video was captured on NDTV's camera. After missile alert in Dimona, parents started covering their children on the ground and crying over the crisis. An emotional moment there. Iran warned of escalation after Israeli airstrikes hit several universities, including ones that Israel claimed were used for nuclear research and development. The country's IRGC warned that Iran would consider Israeli universities and branches of US universities in the region, quote-unquote, legitimate targets. And escalation continues in West Asia even after Donald Trump's announcement for pause on war. War on Iran has completed a month and has now entered its fifth week. US President Donald Trump has said that US-Israel war had achieved regime change in Iran. He also said he was confident he could reach a deal with the Iranians soon. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has claimed that they have created visible cracks in the Iranian regime. On the other hand, tension is escalating in the region. Iran has attacked a chemical factory in Israel's Beersheba, sending black plumes of smoke and billowing flames high into the air. Meanwhile, Israel continues pounding Tehran. A petrochemical facility was targeted in northwestern Tabriz in Iran. Since the beginning of the war, Israel has targeted many key energy infrastructures inside Iran.
We've had regime change, if you look already, because the one regime was decimated, destroyed, they're all dead. The next regime is mostly dead. And the third regime, we're dealing with different people than anybody's dealt with before. It's a whole different group of people. I would only say that we're doing extremely well in that negotiation, but you never know with Iran because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up. We think he may be, nobody's heard about him. He may be alive, but he's obviously very seriously in trouble. He's seriously wounded. It matches and fits the White House. It's also capable of handling the inauguration. We have all bulletproof glass. We have drone-proof roofs, ceilings, everything's drone-proof and bulletproof. And unfortunately, we're living in an age where that's a good thing.
אנחנו מביאים הישגים כבירים, הישגים שיוצרים סדקים גלויים במשטר הטרור בטהרן. איראן היא לא אותה איראן, חיזבאללה הוא לא אותו חיזבאללה, וחמאס הוא לא אותו חמאס.
ترامپ موضوعی را یک روز صبح به طبل تهدید می‌کوبد و عصر همان روز عقب نشینی می‌کند. زمانی از مذاکره دم می‌زند و ساعاتی پس از آن تصمیم به اداره جنگ می‌گیرد. این فرد بی‌تعادل و کذاب خسارت‌های فراوانی را به مردم آمریکا، اروپا و کشورهای جهان به ویژه کشورهای منطقه غرب آسیا وارد نموده است. رئیس جمهور آمریکا ثابت کرده تنها زبانی که میشناسد زبان زور است. در مقابل تهدیدهای اخیر ترامپ مبنی بر عملیات زمینی یا اشغال هر نقطه‌ای از سرزمین‌های ایران که البته آرزویی بیش نیست، اعلام می‌داریم رزمندگان اسلام مدت هاست در انتظار چنین اقداماتی به سر میبرند تا ثابت نمایند که تجاوز و اشغال نتیجه‌ای جز اسارت تحقیرآمیز و قطعه شدن و مفقود شدن متجاوزان را در بر نخواهد داشت و فرماندهان و سربازان آمریکایی خوراک خوبی برای کوسه های خلیج فارس خواهند شد.
All right, I was just talking about the strikes on energy facilities in Iran. Let's just pull up a map to show you and get you that information of all the attacks that have taken place. Let's start with the Tabriz petrochemical facility, which is on the 30th of March, which is today. That strike has taken place. On the 18th of March, it was South Pars gas field, which was a huge hit to Iran. Then you also have the Asaluya refinery complex. Then you have the Shahran oil depot, and then you have the Tehran oil refinery. You also have another oil depot that was hit. So infrastructure also has been on target for both Israel as well as the US.
Where I'm standing right now, well, Dimona also got working at this moment. Well, abhi bhi khada hai, Israel abhi bhi something that the salvage from those houses, they have to be in.
There's been a big turn in the escalation ladder of the US-Israel and Iran war when it comes to tit-for-tat attacks on nuclear facilities of Israel and Iran. Took place about 8 days ago. The town of Dimona, which is situated in the shadow of one of the world's most secure nuclear sites in Israel, sustained significant damage. We were speaking to Ankit. Now, previously, he has filed this report from Dimona, telling you more about the significance of this area and what's happening around it.
Once damaged in a missile strike, most of the houses that are in a dangerous situation are broken down. And you would see behind me here in Dimona such operations going on. When nothing can be salvaged from those houses, they have to be in fact rebuilt, broken completely and rebuilt from scratch. And this is exactly what is happening. Whatever the debris is inside is being thrown out, and then the structure is being broken. This is the impact of the nuclear, the missile strike that took place here in Dimona just last week. And at this moment, the cleaning up operation is going on. Everywhere that you will see will be mangled remains of things that were there in the house, whether it's their ACs or other equipment, which is completely being cleaned out as we speak. I want to take you in to one of these houses, in fact, just to give you a sense of the kind of damage that a strike like this does. And this is one of the hundreds of houses which have suffered such damage. More than 500 people from this area are now living in different hotels and camps which have been made for them. This house gives you a sense of this apartment building which I was showing earlier. Look at this. There are still a lot of rooms which have people's belongings in them. And just to try and understand, because it is difficult, and that is why it's important to come to these sites, to be on the spot. that tells you what a missile strike can actually do. You know, look at those houses or those apartments. The walls have completely been broken. I mean, as if the impact of the blast completely shook this entire building. The walls have been broken, the window panes, everything shattered. And there were people, those who were able to run to a safe house and save their lives. Many were injured as well. This is somebody's house, their backyard completely destroyed. You will only see their house equipment, essential things right now lying in a pile of debris. Laundry room turned upside down, everything strewn there, bicycles of the kids also in fact lying there. But you know, one thing that I have seen everywhere I've gone to such places, once anything happens, this flag of the country is put. It's more or less a sign of resilience, as far as the people are concerned.
Iran's Foreign Minister Araghchi has described the killing of 3 journalists in an Israeli airstrike in southern Lebanon as a quote-unquote serious wake-up call for the international community, terming it a targeted assassination and a flagrant violation of international law. People are mourning the killing of the journalists killed in the airstrike. Here's a ground report from Beirut with my colleague Nasir Masoodi.
I'm at Baalbek, east of Lebanon, and here is a solidarity meeting for the killed journalists who were killed yesterday when Israeli missiles hit a vehicle. Journalists were traveling, 3 were killed, and there were 7 other people. 1 paramedic was also killed in that attack. Look at this. So they are holding the pictures of the killed journalists. You have there. Publicity wing of the Hezbollah has organized this meeting, solidarity meeting. Behind you can also see Hassan Nasrullah's huge hoarding here. Hassan Nasrullah's also. So this is clearly Hezbollah stronghold, which has also come under massive attacks. Literally many journalists have been killed here in the conflict. The region is facing massive bombing over the last more than 3 weeks, rather 4 weeks, and it is everywhere. And Iranian regime has a huge support here. Look at this. Here is Ayatollah Khamenei's picture, who was killed, and which actually led to this whole conflict. There's a strong condemnation by Lebanese Prime Minister and Lebanese President have strongly condemned these killings and has said that this is against any norms, international humanitarian norms, that the journalists working here are being targeted like this.
All right, Nasir, they're reporting from Lebanon. Now, as tankers burn in the Gulf, attention shifts to the south. The Houthis are signaling presence near another significant choke point, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. 2 narrow waterways far apart now threaten the same transit of oil, gas and trade. This is the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the Gate of Tears, a thin link between the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, with the Strait of Hormuz under stress. This southern gate is now in focus. Nearly 10% of global sea trade and major oil and gas flows pass from here. Houthis positioned along Yemen overlook these waters. Any disruption here sends shockwaves across markets and routes worldwide. Hence, all eyes on this region. On that note, we're sipping a short break. News and updates will continue on the other side. We bring you news from here in India about the big campaigns, the big nominations taking place ahead of the state elections. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
केसरिया से मन
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Tamil Nadu votes decisive, uniquely the way it does.
Politics, power and cinema and all of that in an unprecedented Dravidian script.
This is not an election easy to call. It never has been.
And unravel grassroots conversations with the voices that matter.
That's why we travel across Tamil Nadu to get you the real picture. From the OG of Indian elections comes the next big political blockbuster.
Because
Tamil Nadu votes only the way Tamil Nadu does. Tamil Nadu elections on India's original election voice.
आपकी कहानी आपको लोगों के बीच में हमेशा बनाए रखती है, आप बिलीव करते हैं इस बात पर?
नहीं, मैं कहा नहीं। इससे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि मुझे यहाँ तक मैं किन चीज़ों के ज़रिए पहुँचा, वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। यू नो, आप कहाँ से, आप क्या सर्किल होता है आपका, कहाँ से आप ट्रेनिंग लेते हैं, किस तरीके से आप अपने करियर को परसीव करते हैं, क्या क्या उसमें चीज़ें ज़रूरी होती हैं, है ना, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है।
India, a land of story and resilience. 1.4 billion hearts share this home, and the responsibility to protect it rests with all of us. As India moves towards net zero, every step matters. Walk with us as we discover the people and ideas shaping a more sustainable India. India's Sustainability Mission, an initiative by NDTV.
What is the current status of Iran's supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei?
I can tell you that he's fine. I'm sure you have already heard about his message.
Haven't heard from Mojtaba Khamenei. There's some talk of him having been airlifted to Russia. There's widespread dispersion of power across Iran.
Mojtaba was generally seen as the most favored candidate by the IRGC, by the Revolutionary Guard. So what you now have is a military dictatorship with a clerical facade making all the decisions.
They are fighting an asymmetric battle. Does this, in a sense, force Israel and the United States to think about an off-ramp?
The Iranian regime has been using asymmetric warfare against Israel for the last 3 decades. We have to make sure that their capability to do so diminishes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bolton, for speaking to us. We've heard of how Iran was planning to assassinate President Donald Trump.
Iran has tried to assassinate Donald Trump. They've tried to assassinate me too because of the successful strike against Qasem Soleimani, then the head of the Quds Force.
The voices that matter speak first and exclusive to NDTV.
Will the rising sun win with a hand in hand? Will the two leaves and lotus bloom? Who will whistle to success?
It's a busy day for the TVK chief Vijay, and his big outreach to the people of the state continues. He's on a rally all through the day today. Vijay has said the only fight is between DMK and TVK, and he's gone on to say, do you want anti-people Stalin government or do you want Vijay's governance? Is a question he has put to the people. Ritu is joining me live. She is tracking Vijay's rally all through the day today. Ritu, it's a very hot day out there and you have Vijay who's extremely busy. Once again, we've seen this in the past. Once again, he is highlighting, he is reiterating that the fight is essentially between the DMK and the TVK with no reference to the AIADMK at this point?
Well, you see, firstly, of course,
aware that he has just filed his nomination and has come for the first campaign here at Perambur. In fact, we have so many of that who have really come here to listen to what that the actor turned politician Vijay really had to tell to the people of Tamil Nadu, the kind of message that he's putting out. You see, the first of word that he's trying to highlight is the People's Alliance. So that's the kind of direct fight that he's directly declaring it against that of DMK as well. But of course, you see there's a huge crowd over here, who have all come over here to listen to Vijay as well. We do know the kind of manifesto he's really put out as well, and moreover, it focuses on the youngsters, and I also have few youngsters with me as well. You have seen the kind of manifesto that the TVK actor turned politician Vijay has really put out as well. What is that you really think stands out over here? Are you seeing Vijay as an actor, or you see Vijay as a politician at this point in time? Why so as that?
Okay, so actually we in 2016 itself we decided he's not any more actor. Okay, on delegate protest he been came. Okay, not apart from this Anita issue he been came. Okay, lot of issue he been given his hand as well. Okay, so he's no more actor in 2016 as well. He became leader before itself.
So you guys are already. You say that he is a leader for you, but you see the kind of manifesto that the Vijay has really tried to highlight as well. Moreover, it's on the youth as well for the unemployment related, the kind of assistance that he really plans to provide as well, whether it's about the job, keeping up the transparency when we talk about the government recruitments as such. How do you see this kind of a manifesto that's been provided to the Tamil Nadu's youngsters at this point in time in form of the manifesto?
So exactly this point of time, we need correct exact manifesto which Vijay TVK chief has issued. Okay, we are looking for same manifesto where the young unemployment was been raised and drug culture and drug society has been increased overall Tamil Nadu. You can see latest incident. So we are also looking for the same manifesto he given to young people or women, and more on the development side he's also making the manifesto. And So and more upcoming days he's going to release more manifesto.
At this point in time, if I ask all you people over here, what would be your favorite dialogue out of the Vijay that you want to connect it with the kind of the politics that's getting played out here? What is the favorite dialogue? Any of you who want to tell of Vijay? Anyone apart from you? I want to give a chance to others as well.
No problem, you can.
Yeah, please. Any favorite dialogue of yours of Vijay which you really been able to connect with the current politics that's playing out?
And the area, in the area, and the iடம், TVK!
There's something that I could hear all you guys were about with the whistle, the kind of symbol that the Vijay really has it as well. You had asked me out there, you really want to dedicate one whistle out to Vijay. I allow that for you to do it as well. What is that the signature kind of a step that you really want to do it for your Vijay at this point in time?
See, I'll give you a clarification on a lot of things. That's fine. So, see, many people on current politician in Tamil Nadu, DMK claims that TVK does not have a agenda or they don't have anything. But let me give, on Kolgai side, we have very strong Kolgai compared to DMK as well. Okay, so if you are comparing...
I see you with the t-shirt over here as well. Any favorite song of yours that you want to sing of Vijay for Vijay at this point in time? Any favorite song of Vijay?
Unga Vijay, uyirena varana. Yeah, tell me, ma'am.
All right, you see the fans remains to be quite excited here as well. We really look forward to a Vijay as a leader at this point in time. They really have a lot of hopes as well. They said this is the time, in fact, that there's a need of a change in the wave as well. Needs to be seen. This, of course, the verdict only will decide on the day of polling. Back to you.
And that's what it is, Ritu. You're seeing that fan frenzy around you. At this point, we could barely hear you because of all the cheering, chanting, sloganeering. In 3 weeks from now, we're going to get to know if that fan frenzy that we're seeing out there is going to translate into votes for Vijay. Thank you for joining me from the rally ground there. Ritu there tracking Vijay on a big day of nominations. Well, today is the day you've had two big leaders, Vijay as well as Stalin, filed their nominations. The Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and the actor turned politician Vijay have both filed their nominations as campaign picks pace in the battleground state. Stalin filed his nomination from the Kolathur seat, his stronghold, the seat where he's been winning since 2011 for the past 15 years. Also, on the other hand, you had TVK Chief Vijay, who has filed his nomination from the Perambur seat, after which he is on a rally for the next couple of hours. It's just one of the two seats he's fighting from, As of now, he is also contesting from Trichy East. Now, speaking post his nomination, Stalin asserted that the situation is favourable for his party to return to power despite a multi-cornered contest. On the other hand, TVK Chief Vijay appealed to people, asking them to support his whistle revolution.
எத்தனை மணி போட்டியாக இருந்தாலும் எங்களுடைய கூட்டணிக்கு தான் சாதகமாக இருக்கும். 4வது முறை, அதாவது 3 முறை நின்றதை விட 4வது முறை அதிக அளவு ஆதரவை நான் கண்ணால் பார்க்கிறேன். அதான் டெல்லியும் தமிழ்நாடும் போராடுது. டெல்லி தமிழ்நாடு போராடிட்டு இருக்கு. தமிழ்நாட்டின் உரிமையை காப்பாற்றுறதுக்காக இந்த வெற்றி பெரிய வெற்றியாக அமைப்போம்.
இப்போ அனுமதி வந்திருக்கு. அனுமதி வந்தாலும் மக்களுடைய பாதுகாப்புக்கும் அவருடைய போறக்கூடிய வழியில ஒவ்வொரு பாதுகாப்பும் காவல்துறையும் அங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய எஸ்பி தான் பொறுப்பு. நாங்க எங்களுடைய கடமையை ஒழுங்காக செய்யறோம். திமுகவுடைய அழுத்தம் இன்னைக்கும் காவல்துறையில் இருக்கக்கூடிய முக்கியமான சில பேர் இன்னும் ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. தமிழகத்துல பொதுவா எலெக்ஷன் கமிஷன் வந்த உடனே எல்லா ஆபீசர்ஸையும் பொதுவாகவே ஒரு டிரான்ஸ்பர் பண்ணுவோம், ரொட்டேஷன் மட்டும் டிரான்ஸ்பர் பண்ணுவாங்க. அதையும் நாங்க ரிக்வஸ்ட் வச்சிருக்கோம், ஆபீசர்ஸ் சுழற்சி முறையில டிரான்ஸ்பர் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு. கண்டிப்பா தேர்தல் கமிஷனை பரிசீலிக்க நான் நம்புறேன். அதுக்காக நாங்க வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம்.
All right, we've brought you the latest from the West Asia war. We've brought you the latest in terms of the elections and politics. We're stepping to a short break. When we return, we talk cricket, we talk IPL with you. Stay tuned.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Rajkol, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An NDTV world exclusive to Aditya Rajkol. Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा.
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसमे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
BJP double engine সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে.
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
Tamil Nadu elections don't play small. They play big. High stakes, high voltage, high drama. Before the blockbuster unfolds, the OG of election coverage comes to Tamil Nadu to track the elections, spotting the mood and bringing perspectives from every side. Battleground Tamil Nadu on NDTV Network.
When others are warming up, I'm raring to go. The stories that matter, the stories that shape your life.
Hello and welcome to watching Prime 5 with me, Raisha Sehgal. What's happening? How to?
The show that sets the prime time agenda.
We'll be deep diving into this topic to tell you what's at stake.
Join me, Raisha Sehgal, on Prime 5, only on NDTV 24/7.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. The fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break.
Welcome back. Over 400 runs, towering sixes and a record chase. The Wankhede Stadium witnessed a blockbuster as Mumbai Indians hunted down 221 runs against Kolkata Knight Riders. Here's our report.
Kolkata Knight Riders came out swinging in the season opener, and it was skipper Ajinkya Rahane who led the charge. The KKR captain smashed a fluent 67 of 40 balls, setting the tone early, while Mumbai boy Ankrish Raghuvanshi thrilled the Wankhede crowd with a blistering 51 of 29 balls. Together, the duo powered Kolkata to a daunting 220 for 4 against Mumbai Indians, a total that looked more than competitive at the halfway stage. Despite the carnage, it was Shardul Thakur who pulled things back for Mumbai. The all-rounder returned with figures of 3 for 39, earning him the Player of the Match award.
Challenges are what has made me till now, and I enjoy it. Thank you to the entire Mumbai Indians family also for backing me, trading me from LSG here and straight away awarding me in the first game.
But if Kolkata thought 220 was safe at Wankhede, Rohit Sharma and Ryan Rickleton had other plans. Rohit set the tone by pulling Vaibhav Arora deep into the stands, and Rickleton matched the aggression immediately, launching Arora for back-to-back sixes as Mumbai signalled their intent early in the chase. A visibly leaner Rohit Sharma looked in sublime touch. He welcomed Varun Chakravarti with a classy loft over covers and then took him apart, racing to a 23-ball half-century, the fastest of his IPL career. Rohit Sharma eventually fell for a scintillating 78 of 38 balls. His knock started with 6 fours and 6 sixes before Anukul Roy pulled off a stunning catch to end his innings.
But it'll fall in no man's land. I've seen batters play some terrific shots, but whenever I've seen Rowe play some shots, I think it opens everyone's mouth. So nothing short of exceptional, nothing short of brilliant, and I'm so happy that Rowe played this knock with Ryan.
At the other end, Ryan Rickleton justified his selection ahead of Quinton de Kock with a sensational 81 of 43 balls, smashing 8 sixes and 4 boundaries in a fearless display of power hitting. The Rohit-Rickleton duo stitched together a 148-run stand, the highest partnership for any wicket at the Wankhede Stadium, effectively taking the game away from Kolkata. Rickleton was run out in the 16th over, but by then the result was a foregone conclusion. Mumbai Indians wrapped up the chase with 5 balls to spare, sealing a 6-wicket win. It was the second successive night in IPL season 19 where a 200-plus total was chased down, and for Mumbai, it marked their highest successful chase in IPL history and their first win in a season opener since 2012. Rika Roy for NDTV.
And that's all we have time for on Breaking Ground. Up next is Southern View with all my colleagues down south. Stay tuned to NDTV 24/7 and thank you for watching Breaking Ground.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Tamil Nadu votes decisive, uniquely the way it does.
Politics, power and cinema and all of that in an unprecedented Dravidian script.
This is not an election easy to call. It never has been.
And unravel grassroots conversations with the voices that matter.
That's why we travel across Tamil Nadu to get you the real picture. From the OG of Indian elections comes the next big political blockbuster.
Because
Tamil Nadu
votes only the way Tamil Nadu does. Tamil Nadu elections on India's original election voice.
India, a land of story and resilience. 1.4 billion hearts share this home, and the responsibility to protect it rests with all of us. As India moves towards net zero, every step matters. Walk with us as we discover the people and ideas shaping a more sustainable India. India's Sustainability Mission, an initiative by NDTV.
What is the current status of Iran's supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei?
I can tell you that he's fine. I'm sure you have already heard about his message.
Haven't heard from Mojtaba Khamenei. There's some talk of him having been airlifted to Russia. There's widespread dispersion of power across Iran.
Mojtaba was generally seen as the most favored candidate by the IRGC, by the Revolutionary Guard. So what you now have is a military dictatorship with a clerical facade making all the decisions.
They are fighting an asymmetric battle. Does this, in a sense, force Israel and the United States to think about an off-ramp? The Iranian regime has been using asymmetric warfare against Israel for the last 3 decades. We have to make sure that their capability to do so diminishes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bolton, for speaking to us. We've heard of how Iran was planning to assassinate President Donald Trump.
Iran has tried to assassinate Donald Trump. They've tried to assassinate me too because of the successful strike against Qasem Soleimani, then the head of the Quds Force.
The voices that matter speak first and exclusive to NDTV.
Will the rising sun win with a hand in hand?
Will the two leaves and lotus bloom? Who will whistle to success in Tamil Nadu? To understand the Tamil Nadu twist, join me in the midst of our politics and people. Vanakkam Tamil Nadu. Here we come.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
The man behind Roaring Lion. Can you say a word? Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran. Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. An NDTV world exclusive to Aditya Raj Kaul. Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसपे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
বিজেপি ডাবল ইঞ্জিন সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে।
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
Tamil Nadu elections don't play small. They play big. High stakes, high voltage, high drama. Before the blockbuster unfolds, the OG of election coverage comes to Tamil Nadu to track the elections, spotting the mood and bringing perspectives from every side. Battleground Tamil Nadu on NDTV network.
When others are warming up, I'm raring to go. The stories that matter, the stories that shape your life.
Hello, welcome to watching Prime 5 with me, Raisha Saigal. On Saturday, how to
The show that sets the prime time agenda.
We'll be deep diving into this story.
Hello and warm welcome to the Southern View. After a month, we are here again to bring you all updates from down the south. We joined by reporters Ritu from Chennai and Ashwin from Kerala and Sam Daniel from shortly from Kanjipuram district. So, from two southern states, Kerala and Tamil Nadu is getting ready for a poll battle this month, and right now we are here in Kolathur constituency where TVK Chief Vijay is very shortly to do campaign. Remember, Kolathur is Chief Minister MK Stalin campaign, and this morning only Vijay filed his nomination to contest from Perambur constituency, and even Chief Minister MK Stalin also filed his nomination to contest from Kolathur constituency, and both started their road show. So the battle for Tamil Nadu is intensified. We are right now in Chennai's Kolathur constituency. So how Vijay fans gathered here in support of TVK Chief Vijay. I am in mid of TVK Chief Vijay. You see how crazy these fans are, and they're all waiting to see Vijay's campaign, and you see how the momentum is being built on ground, and this is the first time TVK Chief Vijay to contest after launching his political party. Let's try to speak with few fans. Anna solunga enga irundhu varinga? Enga irundhu varinga? Eppadi paakreenga? Solliya.
பெரம்பூர் விஜயோட கோட்டை தான், யாருக்குமே இல்ல. பெரம்பூர் விஜயோட கோட்டை.
ஆனா திமுக
வெற்றி நிச்சயம், கான்பிடன்ஸ்
இல்ல. கூட்டணி இல்லாம விஜய் தனியா நிக்கிறாரு. ஒரு இடத்துல ஒரு என்டிஏ கூட்டணி இருக்கு, திமுக கூட்டணி இருக்கு, வெற்றி வாய்ப்பு இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க?
கூட்டத்தை பாருங்க, உங்களுக்கு தெரியும்.
நீங்க எங்க இருந்து வரீங்க?
நான் புலாந்தோப்புனா.
நார்த் சென்னையில விஜயோட இம்பாக்ட் இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க?
இருக்குண்ணா.
ஏன் விஜய்க்கு ஆதரிக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? விஜயோட டயலாக் ஏதாவது சொல்லுங்க, உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்ச டயலாக்.
ஐ அம் வெயிட்டிங். டயலாக் சொல்றதுக்கு படம் இல்ல, அரசியல். சரிங்களா? படத்தை கம்பேரே பண்ணாதீங்க. எத்தனை தடை போட்டீங்க இது வரைக்கும்? படத்துக்கு தடை போட்டீங்க, படம் எல்லாமே போயிடுச்சு. இப்ப இதுக்கு தடை போடுறீங்க, இதில் நாங்க தான் ஜெயிப்போம்.
So Vijay fans are saying that if you ask for cinema dialogue, they are saying this is not movie to say some dialogue, some sort of dialogue. This is very important phase for their fans also, as Vijay has officially entered political arena, and very shortly Vijay will be here, and we have Ritu also to speak more on this. Ritu, over to you.
Well, you see, the heat here in Tamil Nadu is only increasing as the day really approaches very closer. In fact, you have all that political war of words breaking between across the party lines for that matter, and all that you see, you also have that the DMK president and also the current chief minister of the state, Stalin, in fact, who had also filed the nomination, who's really come out to state about the larger support that he's really going to gain out from the people of Tamil Nadu this time. And he remains to be, of course, quite hopeful about the fact that the people really want to see the DMK back in power, because they have in fact delivered all that promises that the party had made it to the people of Tamil Nadu. But all that said and done, you see, it's only the people who are going to provide that verdict on the day of result. All that needs to be seen, but we have series of reactions, political reactions coming in. Listen in.
நேற்று தான் தேர்தல் அறிக்கை வெளியிட்டிருக்கிறேன். அந்த மாதிரி திட்டங்களை நிறைவேற்றப்படும். எத்தனை மணி போட்டியாக இருந்தாலும் எங்களுடைய கூட்டணிக்கு தான் சாதகமாக இருக்கும். 4வது முறை, அதாவது 3 முறை நின்றதை விட 4வது முறை அதிக அளவு ஆதரவை நான் கண்ணால் பார்க்கிறேன். அதான் டெல்லியும் தமிழ்நாடும் போராடுது. டெல்லியில் இருந்து தமிழ்நாடு போராடிட்டு இருக்கு. தமிழ்நாட்டின் உரிமையை காப்பாற்றுறதுக்காக இந்த வெற்றி பெரிய வெற்றியாக போகுது.
உங்களுக்கு பாதுகாப்பு இல்லாத, உங்களுக்கு வேலை வாய்ப்பு இல்லாத இந்த தீய சக்தி திமுக அரசு என்ன பண்ணலாம்? தூக்கி வீசி எறிவோமா? வண்டியா வச்சிருக்கிற பணத்தை என்ன பண்றதுன்னு தெரியாம இப்ப உங்க எல்லார்கிட்டையும் கொடுத்து எப்படியாவது ஜெயிச்சிடலாம்னு கனவு காணிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. நான் முன்னாடியே சொன்ன மாதிரி எல்லாத்தையும் வாங்கிக்கங்க. வாங்கிக்கிட்டு அவங்க காதுலயே விசில ஊதி அனுப்புங்க. எப்படி? அவங்க செவிலே விசில ஊதி அனுப்புங்க.
இப்ப அனுமதி வந்திருக்கு. அனுமதி வந்தாலும் மக்களுடைய பாதுகாப்புக்கும் அவருடைய போறக்கூடிய வழியில ஒவ்வொரு பாதுகாப்பும் காவல்துறையும் அங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய எஸ்பி தான் பொறுப்பு. நாங்க எங்களுடைய கடமையை ஒழுங்காக செய்யறோம். திமுகவுடைய அழுத்தம் இன்னைக்கும் காவல்துறையில் இருக்கக்கூடிய முக்கியமான சில பேர் இன்னும் ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. தமிழகத்தில் பொதுவா எலெக்ஷன் கமிஷன் வந்த உடனே எல்லா ஆபீசர்ஸையும் பொதுவாகவே ஒரு டிரான்ஸ்பர் பண்ணுவோம், ரொட்டேஷன் மட்டும் டிரான்ஸ்பர் பண்ணுவாங்க. அதையும் நாங்க ரிக்வஸ்ட் வச்சிருக்கோம், ஆபீசர்ஸ் சுழற்சி முறையில் டிரான்ஸ்பர் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு. கண்டிப்பா தேர்தல் கமிஷன் பரிசீலிக்க நான் நம்புறேன். அதுக்காக நாங்க வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம்.
Well, you have the DMK president who has called out the direct fight of the DMK, or for that matter to him, is also against that of the Delhi and of the rights that the state really deserves it from the Delhi end. Now, all that needs to be seen. How is that is really going to get well conveyed to the public on the ground in the coming days? But of course, you see for the second round of the campaign, you have the TVK chief Vijay right now, in kick-starting with his second round of the campaign after filing his nomination for the Perambur. But I have my colleague Vijay over there who's trying to connect with a lot of those fans there, a lot of members who really come out to just get the glimpses of Vijay. Vijay, over to you. Just tell us what's really happening on the ground at this point in time.
That's right, Ritu. Right now we are in Kolathur constituency, under Kolathur constituency. Very shortly, TVK Chief Vijay is to reach here to do his campaign. He has already started his campaign after filing nomination, and very shortly Vijay will be here speaking among his supporters. And we have huge followers here, and you see how crazy they are. They are all followers of TVK Chief Vijay, and they are just waiting to see Vijay. Let's try to speak with them. Akka, enga irundhu varinga? விஜய் ஏன் ஆதரிக்கிறீங்க? சொல்லுங்க.
பேசுங்க, தளபதியை பத்தி பேசுங்க.
அப்படி இல்ல, புதுசா வாய்ப்பு கொடுக்கலான்ட்டு தான் வரணும்னு ஆசை எங்களுக்கு. தளபதி தான் வேணும், அவர் தான் வருவார்.
பெண்களுக்கு பாதுகாப்பு இல்ல, தாவேக்கா வந்தா பெண்களுக்கு பாதுகாப்பு இருக்கும்னு சொல்றாரு. உண்மையா?
கண்டிப்பா பாதுகாப்பு இருக்கும்.
Supporters here, but this is definitely, it is not going to be an easy cakewalk for TVK Chief Vijay. Remember, this is the very first time as a new party debut TVK Chief Vijay enters political fray. But however, on the two sides we have NDA alliance and DMK-led secular progressive alliance. So this is not going to be a cakewalk for TVK Chief Vijay. You see how they are all waiting crazy towards TVK Chief Vijay. And what Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin is contesting. This is his hometown. With this, by starting Vijay's campaign the first day in Kolathur constituency, is giving a message to DMK saying that I am ready for the fight, 2026 fight. But however, we have to wait and see how this is going to create an impact on ground, because when compared to TVK, both Dravidian parties, DMK and ADMK, as ground workers, many workers. So let's try to speak with more supporters here. Anna சொல்லுங்க, விஜய் ஏன் ஆதரிக்கிறீங்க? விஜய் வரணும். புரியல. விஜய் ஏன் ஆதரிக்கிறீங்க? ஏன் விஜய் வரணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? எந்த ரீசனும் இல்ல ப்ரோ. நாங்களா இருக்க ஆசைப்படுறோம். மக்களாட்சி மறுபடியும் வரணும்னு நினைக்கிறோம். அதுக்கோசரம் மட்டும் தான் நாங்க விஜய் ஆதரிக்கிறோம். ஆனா திமுக அதிமுக கூட்டணியோட இருக்காங்க. விஜயோட கூட்டணியே இல்லையே. அவரோட கூட்டணி வந்து மக்களோட கூட்டணி ப்ரோ. எங்க கூட கூட்டணி வச்சிருக்காரு. உண்மையான ரெண்டு மட்டும் தான், ரெண்டு பேருக்கு மட்டும் தான். They are saying so my question is how Vijay individually will possible to win this election. The fan is saying that Vijay is having alliance with people. Peopleக்கு ஸ்டாலின் ஐயாக்கு மட்டும் தான் போட்டியே. இது இருமுனை போட்டி. எத்தனை கூட்டணி வந்தாலும் சரிங்க, எதுவுமே பண்ண முடியாது ப்ரோ. பேரிகார்ட் போட்டு கயிறு கட்டி நிக்கிற கூட்டம் இல்ல ப்ரோ, அடங்காத கூட்டம் இது. So they are saying that the fight is only between DMK and TVK this time. Definitely TVK will have an edge in 2026 election. Let's try to speak with more supporters. So சொல்லுங்க, எங்க இருந்து வரீங்க? விஜய் வந்து ஏன் ஆட்சிக்கு வரணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? திமுக ஆட்சி நல்லா இல்லையா? நல்லா இல்ல ப்ரோ. வேஸ்ட் ப்ரோ. வேஸ்ட் வொஸ்ட்ல வந்துக்கிறான் ப்ரோ. தண்ட கோதி ப்ரோ. And also if we try to speak with more supporters here, and also TVK supporters are saying how Vijay will be hard to win. Let's try to speak with more supporters.
ஏன்னா ஒரு மாற்றம் வேணும். நான் நேற்று ஒன்று சொல்கிறாங்க, இது தூத்துக்குடியில் ரேப் கேஸ் நடந்தது. அது என்னன்றாங்க, எந்த கேஸும் ஒரு நேற்று என்னன்ற அவர் ஆட்சி வந்தானா 8 வயசு பொண்ணை ரேப் பண்ணாதான் தூக்கு தண்டனை மரண தரவேணா. ஒரு கிளாரிட்டி வேணும்ல. இப்போ திமுக பாஜகவை எதிர்த்து ஒரு களத்துல நிக்குது. அதிமுக என்ன சொல்றாங்க அப்படின்னா, நாங்க திமுக எதிர்த்து நிக்கிறோங்கிறாங்க. நீங்க தாவேக தலைவர் என்ன சொல்றாரு, திமுக எங்களுக்கு தான் சண்டைங்கிறாரு. ஏன் பாஜகவை எதிர்க்கல அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு கேள்வி வந்து வருது. ஏன்னா பாஜக ஏன் எதிர்க்கல? நான் இப்போ பாஜக பத்தி பேசினாங்கிறாரு, அவர் ஏன்னா பேச மாட்டாரு. ஒருத்தர் என்னன்றாரு, வீட்டை விட்டு வெளியே வான்றாரு. இன்னொருத்தர் என்னன்னா திரிஷாவை கூட்டின்னு வாங்க.
No, see, and also let's try to speak with more supporters who can give us a clear picture. எங்கேருந்து வரீங்க, எந்த தொகுதியிலேருந்து வரீங்க, ஏன் விஜய் வரணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? ஸோ ஏன் விஜய்? ஸோ லெட்ஸ் கரெக்டாக ஏன் விஜய் வரணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க?
விஜய் வரனா விஜய் ஒரு மாற்றத்தை கொண்டு வருவார். மக்களுக்கு பாதுகாப்பு இல்லை. பெண்கள் நம்ம அக்கா தங்கச்சி நடந்து போறாங்க, காலைல போறாங்க, வீட்டுக்கு வர முடியல. தூத்துக்குடியில
நீங்க சொல்றது மத்திய அரசு ஒரு டேட்டா ரிலீஸ் பண்ணிருக்கு. அந்த டேட்டால பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா தமிழ்நாடு பாதுகாப்பு மாநிலம் அப்படிங்கிறது இருக்கு. எப்படி நீங்க அதை வந்து இது பண்ணுங்க?
இதை பாதுகாப்பு மாநிலம்னா அவங்க வீட்டில் ஒரு பெண்ணை கற்பழிச்சு கொண்டாங்கன்னா அவங்க பாதுகாப்பு மாநிலம் சொல்லுவாங்களா? சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க. தூத்துக்குடியில ஒரு பெண்ணை பாலியல் பலாத்காரம் பண்ணி தூக்கி போட்டிருக்காங்க. அங்க வந்து ஸ்டாலின் தங்கச்சியோ அக்காவோ போறாங்க.
சோ இப்போ வந்து நீங்க என்ன சொல்றீங்கன்னா விஜய் வந்தா இந்த அரசு வந்து பாதுகாப்பான. So fans are saying that TVK can ensure safety for women once they manage to able to form the government in 2026 election. But however, DMK is also very firm on their stance, saying that the fight is very clearly between New Delhi versus Tamil Nadu versus Tamil Nadu. So Chief Minister M.K. Stalin is trying to set narrative. The election is only a two-corner fight between ADMK and DMK. And even ADMK Chief Edappadi K. Palaniswamy also make it clear, saying that the fight is only between DMK and ADMK. They both Dravidian parties are downplaying, saying that it's very new party. Even yesterday, TVK Palaniswamy mentioned saying that Vijay is very new to the political party. So it would be very hard for him to give a edge in 2026 election. So this is how the ground is being intensified ahead of 2026 election. And very shortly, Thalapathy Vijay is going to be here in Perambur to do campaign. We have kids here. We have many young kids also here. But definitely they are not going to vote because I think they are all below 18 years. But the fans, the craze, the crowd for Vijay is really mesmerizing here. But whether this crowd will turn into a voters, will convert into a voters, we have to wait and see how this crowd is going to turn into this is a big question because other actors take it, MGR, Vijay Gant and even Pawan Kalyan and Siranjeevi and Kamal Hassan, all artists started political parties. Especially in Tamil Nadu, you know how actors fail to perform in politics, especially taking Vijay Gant and Kamal Hassan. So whether crowd will turn into vote, will convert into votes is a big question. We have to wait for a situation. But with today, Chief make it clear, he had started his political campaign fiercely from Perambur constituency. Even today, he set the narrative between DMK. His full speech is full of narrative against DMK. He questioned DMK government over women's safety and also he blamed DMK government for corruption charges and all. But will this work on ground? We have to wait and see. But you can see in visuals how huge the crowd is. This is not an organized crowd because a few minutes before we were here, there were no crowd. But all here to see Vijay, to take a glance of Vijay. But will Vijay make that magic on ground? We have to wait and see how this is going to happen, how this is going to work on ground.
Well, the fight for Perambur is also a fight for North Madras. This is where technically the city of Chennai, the city of Madras Patnam began. So there is a lot of symbolic importance to this. It's a three-cornered fight. The NDA is expected to announce the name of the candidate who will be taking on not just Vijay but also the sitting MLA R.D. Shekhar. And it's going to be from the PMK. The seat has gone to PMK as per the seat sharing. And Perambur is on the northwestern part of Chennai. It has a large amount of railway colonies and it has the highest number of voters as per the latest SIR exercise, and this is the place that Vijay has chosen for his electoral debut. Remember that this, apart from Trichy East, so he has one place in Chennai to take on the DMK and of course one in the Delta region, and this is where Karunanidhi used to fight from. So this is also one way by which Vijay wants to say that this fight is between TVK and of course the DMK. The PMK is yet to announce its candidature. We'll have to wait and see who that candidate is going to be. majority. But in terms of strength, it looks like it could be a cakewalk for Vijay, considering that this is a lower middle class, working class population, exactly the kind of population that Vijay's fan clubs are made of.
Vasudha, that's right. Very shortly, TVK chief Vijay is expected here. He is almost near, and very shortly he will be here to deliver a speech among his supporters. And very importantly, it is from Kolathur constituency where TVK chief Vijay is going to deliver a speech. This is second point. Before that, in Perambur constituency, TVK chief started his campaign. But why Kolathur is important? Because, you know, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's own campaign, from where TVK chief Vijay is going to campaign very shortly. And before that, he has already started his campaign and set his narrative, saying that the fight is only between DMK and TVK ahead of 2026 election. Even we have a Kolathur own candidate here, Tamilaga Vettri Kazhagam candidate. Let's try to speak with him also. Sir, Vettri vai eppadi irukku nenikreenga? He says the Kolathur candidate, on behalf of Tamilaga Vettri Kazhagam, he is only going to contest, and he says that the victory is with TVK. But let's try to speak with more supporters here, more youth supporters we are able to see here. Let's try to have a word with them. Solunga, ye Vijay aadharinga, ye Vijay, ye Vijay எதற்காக விஜய் வரணும்?
மாற்றம் வேணும் எங்களுக்கு. போதும், நாங்கள் பார்த்தாச்சு, ரெண்டு அரசியலுமே பார்த்தாச்சு. புதுசா ஒருத்தங்க வரணும், நான் ஆதரிக்கிறோம். நான் தலை ரசிகன், தளபதி தொண்டன். நான் சொல்றேன், கண்டிப்பா எங்க அண்ணனை நாங்க சிஎம் ஆக்கி பார்க்காம விடவே மாட்டோம். 2026 எழுதி வச்சுக்க, எங்க அண்ணன் தான் வருவாரு, வர வைக்கிறோம்.
தளபதி தனியா நிக்கிறாரே, இப்போ ஒரு சைடு
நாங்களாம் மக்கள், எங்களை மீறி ஒண்ணு இருக்கா? மக்கள் சக்தியை மீறி ஏதாவது ஒண்ணு நடக்குமா? எங்க கூட்டணி இவ்வளவு மக்கள் ₹1 காசு வாங்க இவ்வளவு பேர் வந்திருக்கோம். நாங்க எதுக்கு வந்திருக்கோம்?
Very emotional from Vijay fans, saying that even though TVK don't have any allies, they have an alliance with the people, so they have a huge support. Vijay had alliance with people. This is what TVK supporters are saying. We have women supporters also in favor of TVK party. Let's try to and before going to that, and we have Vasudha also. Vasudha, over to you.
Well, star power has often worked in Tamil cinema, and of course there have been several celebrities, several film stars who have made it big in Tamil politics. Starting with, of course, Annadurai was also associated with Tamil cinema, writing scripts, and then of course he became the chief minister in 1967, and he broke the Congress stronghold of the state. 1977 was a remarkable historic year for the politics of Tamil Nadu, because M.G. Ramachandran, a Malayali who came to Tamil Nadu and in some ways became a superstar. He also worked in movies that talked about mass sentiment. He was the underdog in those movies. He talked about the Dravidian sentiment. He was not just a superstar, he also won the first election he contested in. As the former treasurer, he broke the party, the DMK, and of course started the AIDMK. Then in 2006, we had Vijay Kant making that break into politics. He also had a considerable vote share. There have been others like Shivaji Ganeshan and others who have tried to make it big. The biggest success of them was, of course, J. Jayalalitha, AIDMK Supremo and former Chief Minister, who managed to come back as the Chief Minister not just but twice, and she's been multiple times the Chief Minister of the state. And now it all depends on how Vijay, the founder of TVK, manages to use his chemistry, his popularity to basically, convert his fan clubs, his admiration club into loyal and committed voter base. Those visuals there of Vijay arriving in Perambur, this is the constituency that he has chosen for his electoral debut, and that is his that's his bus, and this is TVK chief Vijay. He has announced his party's candidates. In an emotional chord, the TVK chief has given the ticket to the son of his former driver, and what followed was, of course, what followed on stage was an emotional moment, and that went viral because you could see Vijay speak not just to Sabarinathan, who's the son of his driver, but also a long-term associate. He has given a seat to him, and he was seen talking to them, reassuring them about his support. Actor-turned-politician Vijay is scripting a different kind of a political narrative. As the TVK chief unveiled candidates for all 234 constituencies, one announcement stood out.
விருகம்பாக்கம் திரு ஆர் சபரிநாதன், சென்னை தெற்கு மாவட்ட கழக செயலாளர்.
Sabrinathan, the son of Vijay's long-time driver turned personal assistant Rajendran. He was named the party's candidate from Virugambakam. What followed was an emotional scene on stage. Sabrinathan, overwhelmed, touched Vijay's feet and broke down. His father Rajendran, who has been with Vijay for decades, was also visibly emotional. In a rare moment, Vijay was seen wiping away Sabrinathan's tears, a gesture that quickly went viral across social media platforms. Supporters have hailed this move as a reward for loyalty, highlighting Rajendran's decade-long association with the actor and Sabrinathan's own journey within the party ranks.
In Tamil Nadu, where actor-politician Vijay is going to be filing his nomination papers today, this is obviously